I have some tough acts to follow here. So, I am a retired kindergarten teacher from a very diverse school district that had a lot of divorce and single parenting. I was once asked to serve on a committee started by former Governor Ridge to bring the home and school closer together and to lessen the anxiety of the preschool to kindergarten transition. So most of my audiences have been 5-year-olds. So I'm way out of my comfort zone here, but I am very passionate about what is happening to our children due to parental alienation. So in April of 2016, I became one of the grandparents that I had always felt badly for and tried to comfort. This started with a PFA, which was completely false allegations that no one questioned, that no one asked my son if they were true. Attorney number one's only concern was to avoid the PFA at all costs, no matter how fraudulent the accusations. Only after my son agreed to give up $15,000 and a brand new car was the PFA withdrawn. This was family court extortion. Only then was my son no longer the monster. $15K and a new car, all her fears were alleviated. So my son saw his daughters for 2 hours after 15 days, not knowing where they were or who they were with. So even though that PFA was withdrawn, opposing counsel to this day, 2 years later, continues to reference this in an attachment for every court proceeding. Literally the day after that PFA hearing, this attorney number one said she could no longer represent my son because she found a conflict of interest after negotiating on his behalf. Turns out she was best buddies with my ex-daughter-in-law's aunt. So Harrisburg has been notified of this attorney's poor faith negotiation, but we're not holding our breath for their response. So the PFA was formally expunged for $1,500 more. Even after agreeing that it was dead, opposing counsel continues to leverage it. So attorney number two charged $500 per hour, yet never brought paper and pencil to the table. He said he was a good listener, and he did absolutely nothing. So paying the most does not ensure that you're getting the best quality. Attorney number three told us, take baby steps, stay calm. She said we kids will never remember this. She told us that the court-appointed master believed that young children belong with their mother. In November 2016, Dr. Craig Childress presented his work in Harrisburg to the state representatives here. I was able to get a copy of that book and the PowerPoint presentation. It was a pretty tough read, even though I was a psychology minor. It opened up our eyes to discover that we might be dealing with what he was describing as borderline personality disorder, narcissistic tendencies. We even knew about tragic early childhood experiences. Having said that, please know that we in no way consider ourselves to be doctors, able to make these diagnoses. I began to feel that I knew more about this topic than some of the attorneys. It was this time that I retired from education and started to do my own research. I came upon a tender age doctrine which stated that young children should remain with their mothers. This was passed in the 1900s, and was quickly abolished in Pennsylvania. Remember, the master said they belong with their mother. I could not believe what I was reading. So I contacted 2 state reps and a senator. None of them had any knowledge of this. The senator's aide said she was Googling it as we spoke. She found it very interesting and asked me to keep in touch. Interestingly, the senator had been on the committee that I served on before about easing anxiety. So one of the state reps asked me if any other complaints had been made to the police department or to Childline about my son. She actually volunteered to do this for me. Of course, they would not tell her anything, but they did say it was not required to check it out. As a public educator, I was a mandated reporter, which meant if I suspected abuse or neglect, it was mandatory that I report it. Now, my son is accused, and nobody needed to check it out. No grandmother should have to go through this. Sorry. So one thing I learned last year when I sat where you were all sitting, if you're not happy and you're not getting results, get another attorney. Number 4 started out great, like all the rest. Then she cautioned us not to say the words parental alienation or associate them with fathers' rights groups. We would upset the judge and we would look like rebels. So here we are. Attorney number 5 specializes in custody. When I pled my case to her, she hooked us up with a therapist that specializes in detecting parental alienation. She is attempting to get this court ordered for us. My research continued. There was a study of the 50 states and how they fared in moving toward equal shared placement. Pennsylvania received a D, A, B, C, D, but so did 30 other states. There are several reports stating the benefits of equal shared parenting for our children and the deficits when they are not shared. Of course, they include suicide, running away, drug and alcohol abuse. So my sweet granddaughters are in this position, as are everyone's in this room. There are 501 school districts in our state, and there are 67 counties. We all need to do our parts. This is not about politics. This is about our children and our grandchildren. This is what is in the best interest of the children. Those words, the best interest of the children, make my son cringe. It makes me gag a little bit too. Every child deserves to love and be loved by 2 parents, even if they are in 2 homes. I can't tell you how many times I've said that to parents at conferences. I've seen too many children that lack a male figure or a female figure in their homes. Every single profession that deals with children in crisis needs to be updated and further educated. This includes judges, masters, legislators, psychologists, mediators, CYS personnel, attorneys, teachers, guidance counselors. Everyone needs to hear what Dr. Craig Childress, what Dr. Roseman has said here. Everyone needs to go meet with your state reps who are, I have been dealing with one of my state reps who is on the Children and Youth Committee here in Pennsylvania. So we all need to speak to the reps in our own counties. No one should be dealing with these issues anymore with the well-documented literature that is available to all of us in 2019. So let's start making the best interest of the children really mean something.